What's going on, guys? Today we are in the studio and it's a pretty special day because we have some new stuff here, and more exactly we have the latest gimbal from Sirui called Exact. And that's exactly what we're gonna do today. We're gonna test this gimbal and I'm gonna tell you guys if this is good or not. So let's unbox this pretty fast and then mount the camera on it and test it out. So I just unboxed this gimbal and I was pretty impressed to see that it comes with a lot of accessories, especially for its price. It comes at $469, and for that you kind of get a lot of accessories. So let me go through what accessories come in the box. So first thing first, you have a lot of connection cables. You have connection for Panasonic cameras, you have connection for multi-USB, so this might work on different type of cameras. You have a micro USB that works on different type of cameras. You have a Sony one, which is great because we're gonna use a Sony camera. And we have another USB to USB Type-C and a USB Type-C to USB Type-C. So there's plenty of cables in here. And one thing that it's really cool about this gimbal is that it comes with a built-in Wi-Fi transmitter that allows you to connect this gimbal to tablets and phones. And it comes with a big HDMI, which is something pretty cool because usually on my DJI RS2 gimbal, which is my day-to-day gimbal, it also comes with a transmitter, but the HDMI from that transmitter isn't a big HDMI. So in case something goes wrong with the cable, you kind of have to order cables from DJI because you cannot find that easily an HDMI to different type of HDMIs. So for me, it's gonna be very easy to connect it to my camera. One thing though, they don't offer HDMI cables in the package. So I think this is a minor minus, but we all have HDMI cables for our cameras, so I don't see that a big problem. Next up, you can see that they put inside here a lot of screws and attachments for, let's say, the lens support or other things like that. So you have plenty of screws in here. And then it comes with a rod, the attachment for the rod, the charger for the gimbal, which is kind of small. I never seen chargers this small, and a focus motor and a focus accessory for non-threaded lenses. So this is pretty much a complete package. There is everything you need to start shooting. And also, if you want a bonus accessory, you can purchase separately this arm that allows your gimbal to transform into an undersling mode, so you can use it way easier with one hand. So I suggest on putting the camera on the gimbal and checking out to see exactly how this gimbal feels and how it rolls. One thing that I want to say about it before going in, so while I was mounting this gimbal, I noticed a few things that I like and a few things that I don't like. And the number one thing that I like is the grip. It feels really nice in your hand. It's a little bit more thicker than other gimbals grips, but I have a pretty big hand, so this sits very comfortable in my hand. The tripod and the grip feels really premium, really professional, but once we get to the upper part of the gimbal, the controls and the overall quality doesn't feel as good as on the DJI gimbals, but this is not a big drawback because they feel pretty sturdy, but it's not the same fine quality as you find on the DJI product. So it's a little bit more on the cheaper side, but it's not that bad because, like, I mean, there's a slightly small difference, but you can feel it if you're used to, let's say, DJI gimbals. If you're used to, like, let's say, Zoom gimbals, I think this has probably a similar feel on the quality as a Zoom product. So let's put the camera on and see exactly how it works. So I just made everything work. Now the gimbal is calibrated, it's made the way I want. It's pretty simple to make everything work on this gimbal. It's pretty intuitive, but there is a small learning curve when it comes to accessing the menus and going through different type of modes. So that is something that you kind of have to stay around 5 minutes to figure it out. It wasn't hard at all. So I really like the fact that it's super intuitive. Now I have connected my phone through the wireless app and the wireless transmitter of this gimbal, and oh my god, it's so good. The quality that you have on the feed is so much better than on the DJI Ronin RS2. You have a lot of controls, you have zebras, false colors, LUTs, you have the ability to change all the settings of the gimbal through the app, and also the joystick is amazing. You can control so easy and so intuitively the way that the camera is moving with this, because now you have the joystick on the screen. So basically, and on any direction you are, you're facing what the camera sees and you're moving it. So that is so good. You also have a rec button here and a photo mode here. So you can instantly press the rec button and it will record. So this is really awesome. I'm really loving the app. So let's see exactly how stable this gimbal is, because so far I think that the app and overall my first impression with it is pretty good. Okay, so we are outside and right now I'm on 35 millimeters and I'm gonna try to do a circle around Chipri, my cameraman, and see exactly how smooth it is and how good it looks. So let's try and do it. I'm gonna press record right now and I'm gonna go. Now I'm gonna go a little bit in the back. So one of the things that I realized immediately is that it is like super easy to go back and forth. So I'm gonna try to make some settings on the gimbal and make it a little bit more loose whenever I do this, and see exactly if I can make it the way I want. So let's try and do it. Okay guys, so I managed to make the settings that I want. So I hope now the gimbal works the way I feel how a gimbal should work. So I will do the test again, and I will try and see how stable it is. So let's start. I can already feel that the pan is a little bit smoother and it's not so robotic. It's a little bit more smooth. So on the screen, it seems pretty stable. I think I should try and film something more relatable to gimbal stuff. So I'm gonna get my car and I'm gonna try to film an epic B-roll with the car and see exactly how it looks. So I think we got enough shots to determine whether this gimbal is stable or not. Overall, the gimbal works pretty good. What I see on the monitor seems pretty steady, as steady as a Ronin or more expensive gimbals. One thing that I really like about it is the grip. It's very comfortable. My hand doesn't get like tired or anything like that. So it's also a pretty lightweight gimbal. So you cannot feel the weight of it. So it's pretty comfortable to film with it. Also, minor things that happened were, for example, I was trying to press record a few times and it did not work through the gimbal, but those are minor things that happen even with more expensive gimbals. So now what we have to do, we're gonna go and put a longer lens and see exactly how it handles with something more longer in terms of focal length. So guys, we finally got down to the part where I'm gonna tell you my final impression about this gimbal. And to be honest, I only had one day with it and I got used to it pretty fast. The menus are pretty intuitive. The grip is amazing. I really love how the grip feels in your hand. And I think the overall weight of this gimbal is pretty light. So what I have to say bad about it is that, of course, with a cheaper gimbal, there are some things that are not so great in terms of built-in materials or the focus not being able to be controlled the way you like. So what I think is that with more expensive products like the DJI Ronin RS2, you have the possibility to control every settings the way you do. And with this one, you're a little bit limited to what Sirui offers you. So this is where the difference in price comes to. But to be honest, if you're at the beginning of your career or you're just starting off, this gimbal is a really good choice for you. If you have the money, of course, I recommend going a little bit higher and buying a more, let's say, professional product. But I think this gimbal, for me, especially if I want to film something a little bit more easy, not so professional, I think it's great. So this is my final impression about it, and if you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments, or what do you thought about it in the comments down below. I'll be happy to discuss every suggestion with you guys, and until next time, peace, have fun, and enjoy the ride. Wait, what ride? Enjoy the filmmaking process.